There's an idea in the motorcycling community that riding is better together in groups. I don't know that I necessarily agree.
If you're in your 20s and you don't mind handing control over to a bunch of people you barely know, it's great. But as I get older, I find I'm less and less interested in the compromise. So usually I choose to ride solo, and it's fantastic.
G'day, I'm David from Two Wheels In. Motorcycling is often a group experience, and I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, human beings are social animals. You get a bunch of people together who love the same thing, and voila, instant friend group. Oh, you like motorcycles? I like motorcycles too. We should totally be friends. Well, maybe not quite, as I'm not like 5 years old. Actually, I'm pushing 60, like, I know I don't look it, but there you are. I used to do a lot of group rides. I rode with a group called the Foxies. The name's a long story, but they're a great bunch of people.
When you ride in the group, put everyone on the same road, there's a kind of magic in that. You're rolling with these great people, stopping for lunch, rating each other's wheelies, discussing your secret plans for flying motorcycles. Yeah, I've done it. Group rides with the Foxies, rides with hundreds of people, rides with one or two close mates, rides where everything clicked. But somewhere along the way I changed. I stopped treating riding as a social activity. Not entirely. I still ride with people sometimes, but I'm more comfortable riding on my own.
I've ridden alone all across the vastness of Australia, tens of thousands of kilometres of mostly solo roads. And I found something I didn't expect. The discovery that you're okay with your own company is a profoundly liberating one. Or possibly I'm just a curmudgeonly old bastard who likes his own company. You know, old man yells at cloud. Either way, I'm okay with it. And I suspect I'm not alone in this.
Now, I want to be fair. When it works, riding in groups is great. Some of the best days I've had in the saddle were with other people. A few years back, I rode outback Australia with a couple of mates. It was one of the best trips I've done. There was no stress, no ego, nobody trying to prove anything. Just three riders riding a long way on good roads, taking it as it came.
That ride exists, and I was lucky to have it.
And then there's the other kind. Rides with hundreds of people, Harleys and Groms and everything in between. Overwhelming and exciting and ridiculous. You'd stop for fuel and the whole place was bikes.
Groups teach you things that solo riding never will. Routes, confidence, how to read a road through someone else's eyes. And there's the camaraderie, that feeling of being a part of something bigger.
You discover new routes you'd never discover on your own. You've got a safety net for breakdowns or injuries or getting lost. A group of riding mates gets you out of the door on a Sunday when that couch looks mighty comfortable. And some moments are better because someone else saw them too. The sunset, the corner, the absurd thing at the fuel stop. Also, riding with someone slightly better than you lifts your game without you having to work at it.
These are some real reasons to ride with someone else. But the older I get, I question whether the cost of finding these rides, the managing, the compromise, the performance, is higher or bigger than what I get back. Now, this isn't about what's wrong with groups. It's great to have these amazing people on your side when you're out riding. But group riding isn't the only way to ride. For me, it may not even be the best way. When I started riding on my own more, I found a joy in being solitary. That's for a few reasons. Maybe more to do with me than groups. Here's what I noticed. You know, on a ride, there's always someone faster or slower than I am. Well, with my riding, it's rarely slower, but certainly they're faster. Look, at 60, I've become a bit less interested in what other people think. Less interested in adjusting. And this isn't just me being difficult, that old man yelling at the cloud. It's just that at nearly 60, I know what I like. I know the speed that I ride that makes me feel right. And once you know that, adjusting to someone else's pace starts to feel like you're not quite riding your own ride anymore. Look, I've got maybe 15 or 20 good riding years left. I don't want to spend them at a pace that isn't mine. Another point, part of my brain on a group ride is managing the group, not the ride. You know how it goes. Is that rider okay? Are they bored? Am I holding them up? That's not riding, that's micromanagement. And I gotta say, that does sap some of the joy out of the whole thing for me. When I'm riding alone, I go at my own pace without having to manage anybody else. I don't have to mutter under my breath, everyone rides their own ride, as someone burns past me out on the Aprilia. I live that statement. I ride my own ride when I'm out on my own. And that's just fine. Speaking of my own ride, I want to choose where I want to go, not where everyone else wants to go. If you've listened to more than a couple of these videos, you'll know what a fan I am of the road, of its mystery, of where it might take you, of what you'll become there. I like deciding. I don't like ceding that control to other people. Well, maybe Dalma, but I don't really have much of an option there. But outside that, I reckon I've earned the right to call my own ride. Another thing, group rides are full of other people. It's in the name. And I don't always know the riders. On a group ride, I inherit other people's decisions. If someone target fixes on a corner and you're following them, you're gonna have a bad day. Someone's tyres are bald, someone else got 2 hours sleep. When I'm on a solo ride, the only risk variables are mine. Now, let's face it, that can sometimes be pretty variable with my riding, but the risk is mine to take, and the consequences are mine to live with. There's something quite liberating about that. And all of these, pace, awareness, route, risk, they're real. And for a long time I paid them without thinking. But in the last few years, I stopped thinking they were always worth it. Basically, I've just stopped wanting to compromise. And I don't think that makes me difficult. I think it makes me honest.
So what does it actually feel like? What am I riding towards? People hear I ride alone and they ask me if I get lonely. But you know, I really don't. I've done tens of thousands of kilometres alone. I know what it is. Riding along, your thoughts and your experience is your own. No music, just the bike, the road and the wind. You're calm, not performing, not managing, just thinking. For something that some people might consider indulgent, more me, I find that I'm a better person when I ride on my own. I'm more patient rather than less. I talk to strangers when I stop. I don't rush. I let that tradie with the attitude go. I nod at riders and I nod at push bikes. Basically, when I ride on my own, it's my road, my spontaneous detours, nobody to consult. I'm not lonely, I'm peaceful. Lonely is being surrounded by people and still feeling disconnected. Alone is being by yourself and exactly where you want to be. They aren't the same thing. Most people confuse them their whole lives.
When you're younger, alone feels like something went wrong. When you're older, alone feels like something went right.
After an hour alone on the bike, my mind settles down. I don't know the science, I just know it happens. And it doesn't happen the same way when I'm in a group. I do miss Dharma when she's not with me. We're really kind of nauseatingly sweet together. But when I'm alone on the road, it's not because I don't want her there. It's because there's something I need to do for myself.
Hey, if you're trying to figure out what you want for a ride rather than what you're supposed to want, hit subscribe. Let's find it together. And I still ride with people sometimes. Delma, old friend, when it works. But I stop pretending I'm missing out when I'm alone. Honestly, the best rides are the one nobody sees. See you next week.